Hi, welcome to my video blog. My name is Tony Fakhri. Thank you for joining me. As part of the Life Principles series, which I've posted up on my Tumblr blog, today I'm going to be talking about meditation, the power of meditation, and getting into stillness and silence, and how that relates to health and well-being. You've probably noticed that in your busy schedule, your busy day-to-day life, that things just happen really quickly. You're operating from your left brain, that analytical mind, that conscious mind, that 92% which is constantly processing, analysing. It's what I call the monkey mind. It's this inner dialogue, this chatter which constantly needs to feed itself. It's also what we call the ego as well. If we examine different religions, different principles such as the Eastern principle, aspects of Hinduism as well, we see that there are different variations on how we view the ego. And we look back at the likes of Freud and Carl Jung and so forth, these great psychotherapists which have talked about the ego and the id and so forth, but without the risk of delving deeply into that. Let's examine the perspective of meditation and how getting into stillness and silence benefits you on a day-to-day basis. So the idea of getting into silence is really to access that inner world. It's to know what is going on inside of you. And effectively, the analogy that I often like to draw is you becoming the observer, the witness. And in becoming the witness, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a shoreline watching waves crashing in. And that's a great analogy, because if you examine it, you'll notice that sometimes waves tend to come crashing in quite ferociously. Other times they're quite peaceful and somber as well. Now, you're not judging the waves. All you're doing is just noticing. If you take that same example and apply it to your mind, you'll notice that there's a same consistency or same ebb and flow to your thoughts. Some days you might wake up and your thoughts are raging, and effectively what tends to happen is that your thoughts start affecting your physiology. It starts charging your emotions, and your body starts becoming out of sync and out of character. You notice that you react instead of take a silence and take moments where you contemplate things that happen. So one of the things that begins to happen for you when you go into regular silence is this sense of peace. You raise your consciousness to such a level that you become this witness or this watcher that resides over things happening before them. And once you continually do this over time, you'll begin to notice that you don't react to it, because, see, your state is one of a witness. So if you're constantly witnessing, then how can you be reacting to things? Now, I know people are going to write in and challenge this and say, well, hang on, how do I react to a scenario where my loved one leaves me? I'm not suggesting that by becoming the witness that you're devoid from these situations, but what you're doing is acting from a higher purpose. You're acting from the right brain, that creative, that intuitive self, as opposed to the analytical mind which breaks down everything. So how often do you need to go into silence? I suggest to clients and people alike is to start with 20 minutes a day as a minimum. Now, you don't need to get into yoga postures and get your body into all these different states. The only thing I'd suggest is being upright and seated. Work on some breathing strategies. I'll talk more about breathing cues in the coming weeks in terms of how to activate your diaphragm and really start getting your physiology into what we call a parasympathetic response, and that is, that rest, that at ease, where the nervous system is quite relaxed. So 20 minutes a day or night. I like to do mine at both the morning and the evening, where I find my conscious mind tends to be quite low and inactive, particularly at night before bed. And just notice what's happening. Notice what thoughts are coming in. Again, don't judge the thoughts. Just notice, are they coming in quite fiercely? Are they slow thoughts? Are they repetitive thoughts? Are they asking you to do anything? In fact, you'll notice most of the time the thoughts aren't asking you to respond. They're just analysing the situation. So become the watcher. Start viewing those thoughts. Thank you once again for joining me. I trust that you've enjoyed this little clip. Please have a little surf around the other videos. There's a number of them. I'm producing these a number of these a week, in fact. And also on my Tumblr blog, there's a number of really good articles that also relate to the topics that we'll be talking here over the coming weeks. I'm Tony Thackeray. My Tumblr blog, once again, tonythackeray.com/Tumblr. And also please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to be notified of upcoming videos.